Hello, welcome. This is Enda here from bullwaves.org. This is the weekly Elliott wave roundup of markets. Well, the markets that I follow anyway. So I'm going to go through it. If this is your first time here, check out bullwaves.org and check out the membership. And if you like what I do nightly updates for the members of the website. So check out bullwaves.org and we'll see you there tonight. But for now, let's get on with the show. We'll go over what's happened this week. It's been a shorter week, obviously, because Monday was market holiday or a public holiday in the US. So when the US goes to sleep, the rest of the world goes to sleep, basically. So let's get into the week's action, and we'll see what has unfolded. Okay, so where am I going to start? I'm going to start on Eurodollar. So this is the 4-hour Eurodollar chart that I've been tracking of late. I'm still kind of undecided whether this is an ending diagonal or if this is a large ending diagonal in let's say wave 5 in green. So we'd have 3 down in 1, 3 up in 2, 3 down in 3, 3 up in 4, and 3 down in 5. Now, it's not confirmed to be that. I know we do have a very slight crossover between wave 1 and wave 4, but in a very leveraged market, maybe I could allow that. Maybe I'm allowing myself too much leeway there. But anyway, for the moment, I'm going to stick with the 5-wave pattern lower, and that does suggest that maybe we have actually reached a conclusive or a conclusion, let's say, on this pattern. So we could have wave 5 in place at this week's low. So we got I don't know, last Friday, did that break through last Friday? Maybe it did. Yeah, last week. We broke through the previous wave 3 low, but it didn't look complete at that point. No, that's actually a couple of weeks ago. And then we had a correction in wave 4, and then we had an ending diagonal wave 5. So we had clearly broken the previous wave 3 low. We had 5 waves down, and then the idea for this week was to look for confirmation with a 5-wave pattern, 5-wave rally back in against the previous trend. So let's go to the hourly chart and we'll see what has happened. So we had that ending diagonal pattern wave 5, and this week we have bounced. It does look to be a 5-wave pattern, and we have broken the previous 4th wave high. So I was looking at that 4th wave high as let's say the main indicator or the initial indicator that there was potential for a bounce here, or potential in this bounce. So we have a 5-wave rally. We broke the previous 4th wave high, and now we seem to be correcting again. So we have, I think, achieved what I was looking for this week. So a 5-wave rally against the dominant kind of previous trend. It's still very low. It's a very low on the trend ladder, let's say here. So it's quite a small move, but this could be the first indication that we have a low in place here. So if we get a corrective higher low building over the next day or so, maybe even today, we have a good few hours left in trading today. So the European session is actually closing in a couple hours, but you're only after waking up in the States. So we've got we're working on through that's down in wave 2. I don't know how low this will go. Maybe back into the mid range here of the previous correction. So maybe back towards 99 again. 99, let's say 99.70. If we do see 3 waves down into 99.70, and then next week I'll be looking for a nice acceleration higher in a 3rd wave. So that would be very much in line with a reversal building in the market. So watch out for that next week. Let's go on to, here is cable. So we have again I think we've almost completed 5 waves down here. I'm not entirely sold on it just yet. I might be convinced. I don't know. But for the moment, I think we have one more low left on the short-term pattern in cable. So that will complete a large degree wave 5 and wave 1 down. 5 waves down in wave 1, and then I'd look for a large rally in wave 2. So I am kind of looking back towards that 130 level again for that wave 2. So that'll be quite a nice rally. So here we are. Back towards these kind of you would look towards these kind of consolidation levels as a retracement target. So we've got that consolidation level around 122, and then a consolidation level around 130. So that's kind of where my eye is training for this correction rally that might come in wave 2. Let's get to the hourly count here. This is the kind of final play, or the final scene within this wave 1 decline. So we're closing out wave 5 in red of wave 1 in blue, and this wave 5 here has a 5-wave internal component. So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Wave 3 here has a 5-wave component, so we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're looking for this correction to complete in wave 4. I think we could probably rule out the triangle idea here. For wave 4, excuse me, it could be an expanded flat. So that's kind of initially what I've been looking at this week. We have broken the previous wave A high, so we've hit the minimum target for wave C, but I don't think we've got 5 waves complete just yet. So it looks like maybe 1, 2, maybe we've got wave 3 and 4 now done. Could be one more pop in wave 5 to complete wave C, and then we return lower in wave 5 again. So actually next week I will be looking for a significant low to form over the next few days in wave 5, and then maybe towards the end of next week we'd be mirroring what's happening in euro dollar now. We might look for an impulsive rally to begin the next the corrective move higher in wave 2. So that's the outlook for next week. So let's see if we can kind of crest in this bottom and turn higher again. Okay, so here's dollar yen. This chart, a few days old. So we did close out this trend channel again. I think this is a B wave rally. I might be convinced otherwise on that, I suppose, but the B wave high still seems to ring true in my mind. We've got 3 waves down in wave A, and that's just not enough here. This move that lower just wasn't enough to satisfy this 4th wave in blue here. So we have rallied, we broke out to a new high, and we have reversed, it seemed. So the idea from here would be to see 5 waves down in wave C, initially kind of looking between 130 and 126. So we've got 2, previous lows here within the structure. So between 130 and 126 is where I'll be looking for wave C to close out. And it should be a clean 5-wave decline. So we'll see how that goes. Here's the hourly count. You can see at the moment, I was looking for a break back into this upper channel this week, and we got a nice solid break over the overnight trade. So it looks like we're on course for 5 waves down. I don't think we've done it just yet, but wave 4 and 5 should, there should be enough left in today to close out wave 4 and 5, if not overnight Monday. And then we'd look for a corrective lower high on Monday and Tuesday in wave 2, and we should continue lower again in wave 3. So once we break back into the range of the previous wave 3 high, so that'll be 139, I think that'll pretty much confirm that we have turned into wave C down. So let's see how that goes next week. Okay, go to the stock market. Now, we have our bounce in play that I was looking for this week. So we have 5 waves down in wave 1 in blue, and we have a 3-wave correction, if not complete, close to complete. I think, probably better see it on the hourly count, but it looks like we might have an expanded flat correction in the book in play here for wave 2. We have a couple of target levels on the hourly chart, so I'll show you that in a minute. But for the moment, I want to just show you that the potential here for a third of a third decline is building. Even though we have a little bit of a recovery this week, you might even say, people are how would you say, they are, chomping at the bit to even, jump in on the long side here. And dare I say, that would be probably what we would suggest would be, or probably what, the emotion that would be rearing its head at a second wave lower high. So, everybody's talking about, is the low in? Is the low in? I mean, we've got a lower high. Look, we've got higher low, a series of 2 higher lows. But I'm still, I'm sticking with the pattern here. We've got 3 waves up in wave 2, and we've got actually 5 waves down in wave 1. So what we should be building here is another corrective lower high, rather than bullish higher low. So the outlook here is actually turning in favor of a 333 decline, third of a third of a third. And if that's builds, I think if that happens, I think it will completely obliterate any idea or any pretense of economic recovery, or the market bottoming. I think people will suddenly turn incredibly risk averse with this third of third decline. So I think we may be on the very brim of this now. This could be akin to standing on the cliff edge, looking over with the wind about to turn to your back. You're standing here, you're looking at the beautiful view down to the ocean, and the wind is blowing in your face, and you are completely oblivious to the fact that it's about to turn and whip you off your feet and cast you back into the abyss. So this is what I would term an Elliott wave abyss. If this happens, this is where we see a massive acceleration lower. I might be proved wrong. Maybe the bit will go between people's teeth again, and off to the races again, and new highs forever. I'm just not buying it at the moment. So let's get into the hourly count. Here's my 5-wave pattern lower that I was following in wave 1. The alternate count, I think we can pretty much rule that out right now, but we have a expanded flat correction in wave 2 underway this week. I was initially looking at wave A here, 32,040 as the initial target. We've pretty much hit that this morning in the pre-market, so I'm not quite sure, but I think we could probably push towards that 32,380 level here, previous fourth wave high. If that happens, you still can't rule out the 50% retracement at 32,760. Again, we've got 5 waves down. What I'm trying to kind of glean here from the action in the market is where wave C of 2 will complete. So we have an initial target, a kind of a midway target, and an upper end target at the 50% retracement. I think within this band here, we should see a reversal build next week, and we should be building down into wave 1 of 3. That'll be wave 1 of 3 of 3 of 3. So high alert, I think, at this point. Watch out. This acceleration lower could be on your doorstep. We'll know more by tonight. So, if you do want the update tonight, get onto the website and sign up, and we'll sort you out. But there is there's a long trading day ahead of us. Reasonable trading day ahead of us. We'll see what sort of impetus the market has to start attacking those upper targets there. If we completely reverse, by just hitting that initial target, wave A high, and we lose steam completely, well, then I think that may well suggest that wave 1 of 3, is already underway. But I'm willing to give it today anyway to see how this trade plays out. Okay, let's move on to gold. So here's the 4-hour count in gold. We have not broken to a new low yet, although just don't rule that out entirely. We are building this 5-wave pattern lower. We could be more suitable towards an ending diagonal pattern right now, and that might well be very suitable towards the larger pattern anyway, because it would denote a complete and utter loss of downside momentum. Ending diagonals is pretty much what they do. You know, the momentum of the previous move has gone, and be, you know, prepared for a momentum reversal. That doesn't rule out the idea that we will get one new low, but I think it probably will be quite short-lived. So here is the kind of, let's say, chink in the armor that happened. I'm not quite sure how to parse that out into 3 waves down in wave 1, but we have 3 waves up in wave 2. We do have a pretty solid 3 waves down in wave 3, and a complex 3-wave pattern in wave 4. We just broke above that wave 1 low too many times to ignore. I think that's 70.27. I don't know what's that cash low, but it's the low on my chart anyway. This is a derivative chart, so you know sometimes the extreme lows and highs pivot points can be, you know, slightly out compared to the cash market, but or the spot market, let's say. But it's an overlap on my chart, so I can't really ignore it, to be honest. So we did tip again above that wave 1 low, and we seem to have reversed again. I thought yesterday's reversal was strong enough to carry us lower, but you know, obviously not. Hopefully today's reversal will carry us down into wave 5 of 5, and once that's complete, you know, I still can't rule out that 1650 low. Just seems kind of a nice round number to complete this whole corrective debacle that's been going on for nigh on 2 years now. But anyway, wave 4, final, you know, hurrah in wave 4 is coming our way, and we may well get that reversal pattern higher next week that that I had been looking out for. Okay, so let's move on. We'll go to crude oil. A bit of a bounce today. I'll get the hourly count to explain that, or to kind of put a face on that, let's say. Here's the long-term pattern: wave 1 and 2 down, wave 1 and 2 down. So a series of 1-2s, denoting the idea that we are actually turning down into a long-term third wave decline. And if we do get into that long-term third of a third decline, we could easily find ourselves back, you know, at $50 again before you could, you know, swing a chicken. So if this is a third wave decline, then we should see a series of 1-2s building in here. And here is the hourly count. Obviously, today's chart is actually switched slightly in favor of the alternate count here, but there's a couple of ways to view that. I was actually expecting this correction to hold below 84.85, and we didn't do that today. So we could actually be tracing out another 1-2 pattern, and wouldn't that be interesting? So there's obviously the alternate count here of wave 1 and 2 in blue, but this is again another series of 1-2, acceleration lower, 1-2, acceleration lower, 1 and 2. So we're building and building to the downside. We're not actually, we don't seem to be putting in, you know, any form of a reversal, an impulsive reversal. Overall, it seems the impulsive action is actually coming to the downside, and we are correcting sideways. Even if we do drift sideways for, you know, a reasonable period of time over a month or so, it's still a corrective, you know, grind to a lower high. We had 5 waves down last week. We had a clear 3-wave pattern higher in wave 2. 5 waves down again this week into that low, and we look to be tracing higher in 3 waves again. So it seems the bearish outlook is still, you know, quite substantially out favoring or outshining the let's say the corrective decline outlook that some people might have. But we'll see how it goes. Today should be enough to call this second wave complete, and maybe we'll reverse down into a third wave on Monday. But the series of 1-2s continues, and just like in the stock market, once if we do actually turn into that third wave down in the stock market, that's going to wipe out crude oil. You know, there's going to be no room to hide. It will be a complete risk-off moment, and people will be running. I'm afraid they'll be running back to the dollar again. So, and actually, well, the dollar, but I do expect a euro-dollar rally. So They'll be running. Let's put it this way. They'll be running for cash. Okay. So the question here is this a series of lower degree impulse declines, or have we got one full decline in wave 1 and then a rally in wave 2? If it's this alternate count here, then you'd probably expect a rally back into about 90 before turning down again into wave 3 of 3. Okay, let's move on. Here is the S&P. I should move this out a bit. This is the 4-hour count in the S&P. You can see the previous second wave rally was clear 3 waves up. We broke the 62% retracement level, and now we've turned lower again. We look to have 5 waves down already complete. And again, I'm working with that kind of expanded flat correction wave 2. So let's get into the hourly count here, and I'll show you that. 5 waves down, wave 1 done, 3 up in A, 3 down in B, and then a 5-wave rally in wave C. Question today is, do we have... we broke the minimum target, so that was 40.20 at the wave A high. Approaching today the previous 4th wave high, so that's 40.70, which would actually mark the 38% retracement as well. So, it would be a pretty solid area to find a reversal in this market. If we do actually, we hit 40.70 and then start reversing lower again, I would be pretty confident, or pretty happy to call that a second wave lower high in place and look towards the third wave decline. So the idea this week was to close out this second wave, to look for a relief rally in wave C. We've got the relief rally in wave C. We've hit the targets. We're smack bang between the 2 initial targets for wave C. So let's see if we actually turn lower today, maybe, or before the end of today's session, or you can easily wait until Monday as well, or Tuesday, to close out wave 2 and then to turn lower into wave 3. So if we are, again, the broader market here, if we are tracing out a bearish impulse wave to the downside, then we should expect a reversal into third or third line next week, and that was going to wipe the smile off a few people if that's going to happen. So again, if you're interested in following the nightly charts, get on to bullwebs.org and check out the membership. Okay, and you can see the completed charts after today's trade, when I complete tonight's update, which usually happens, US time, Eastern time US, it's about 6 p.m., I suppose, Eastern time US, between 5 and 6 p.m. Usually here on GMT, it's, between 9 and 10 of time GMT. Okay, so let's see if we can complete this expanded flat correction wave 2 today. Maybe we even see the initial spike lower to begin a third decline. If that happens, well, we're ahead of the game. Okay, so that's the S&P. Let's move on to silver. A bounce this week in silver, but it still seems to be a pretty corrective bounce so far. You can see on the 4-hour count here, still expecting a final 5th wave low to come in, maybe down towards the $16 area. And if that happens, that will, down around $16, I'd be very interested in silver. As long as we have a 3-wave rally to the upside, that does denote, a reversal pattern building. Here's the hourly count here. You can see this final 5th wave is broken out into a series of 1-2s, and then expecting a 3rd wave decline to begin pretty soon. We did, peak to a new, lower high day, or this, the overnight trade. That hasn't really changed or helped the pattern. It seems to be still a corrective pattern to the upside. 3 waves up. This morning's trade is again to the downside, just like in gold. So what I really need to see is acceleration down to break to a new low below 1755 again. That will pretty much confirm that wave 3 is underway. And overall, we can probably expect that kind of $16 area before this final 5th wave down completes. Maybe next week, maybe at the end of next week. We'll see how that goes. Well, for now, I haven't changed the outlook just yet in silver, and we are looking, down at least in the short term. Okay, so let's move on. We'll get Bitcoin, I suppose. Maybe we'll look at the Nasdaq again. We had was tracking this 5-wave pattern lower in this final wave 5 of C, and we had 5 waves down at a low degree off the wave 4 high. So we were tracking throughout this summer. We were tracking this as a 4th wave correction. It did, it went on and on and on. All right, but we did see 5 waves down build out of that correction, and now it looks like we have another bearish lower high building in wave 2. So that's the hourly count. I'm still 4-hour count. I'm still expecting this 5th wave pattern to probably fall back to, below 10,000 before it's finished. Here's the rally in overnight. Actually, most of this rally happened, but we have kind of peaked at a fairly oversold level over the last week or so. So tracked this 5-wave pattern lower. We hit a new low last week, and I was looking for this, or the charts were calling for a 2nd wave correction to begin. So it's possible that we're underway in that now. We've broken the previous 4th wave. Let's see where we could probably end up. Fibonacci, Mr. Fibonacci will give us a ballpark. So probably talking about 22,000 when wave 2 is complete. We're back above 20,000 now. So it looks like we'll probably trace out a simple zigzag correction here. So 5 up in A, 3 waves down in higher low B, and then 5-wave rally in wave C. We shall see next week. Next week will probably enough to kind of close out wave 2. If all goes to plan, we'll back higher in 3 waves. We'll complete wave 2 next week, and then wave 3 of 3 will be dragged lower with the rest of the speculative market. And I suggest that Bitcoin is nothing different. It's all part of the same, let's say, construct of our own, self-valuation or our own overvaluation of our collective endeavors. So Bitcoin is the Narcissus staring into the mirror, the ultimate Narcissus staring into, the lake, and he should be ready to drown pretty soon. So once wave 2 is done, Narcissus is going to tumble into that lake again. Right, so let's look for that corrective lower high in wave 2 build next week. So here is the Nasdaq. I changed this week actually to a series of 1-2s to the downside. So I was previously looking at this as a 4th wave rally, but the overlap pretty much seems to have ruled that out. So we've got wave 1 and 2, wave 1 and 2, and we might be building a wave 1 and 2 at a lower degree here. So this is what I would be expecting this week. So wave 2 at a lower degree, wave 2 of 3, and then turn on into wave 3 of 3, most likely beginning next week. So here's the hourly count. You can see 5-wave pattern lower, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could easily relabel that if you wanted to. It could be a kind of more of a wedge pattern. This actually counts just as well this way as it does in the more standard pattern. We've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and an ending diagonal in wave 5 to complete the pattern. So, a wedge within a wedge, if you want to call it that. So, either way, 5 waves down, wave 1, and then an ABC correction, wave 2. It's pretty much followed the pattern throughout the week. We've broken that previous wave A high, so we've got above 12,470. The next stop within the corrective pattern would be 12,650 or so, and then I'd say the upper end would be about 13,200. Let's get Mr. Fibonacci in on the equation here and see what he suggests. 50% retracement, standard 50% would be 12,870 or something. So, I think we're close. A 50% retracement, maybe a ballpark figure to kind of keep an eye out. If we see weakness forming around that 12,800, 12,900 area, then we'll look out for a reversal pattern down into wave 3 of 3. And if that happens, sayonara, baby, because we're off to the races on the downside. And that, I think I've pretty much done it. We've run through the 9 or 10 or 8 markets, whatever it is that we covered there. And, in general, it's a pretty bleak outlook, but, bleak as it may seem, there is always hope. And I always leave with a message of hope, and the message of hope always stays the same. It never changes. I don't know how I was going to, address this today. Most people kind of click off right now. They 2 fingers up and say goodbye. And then, later on today, I would usually look or expect to see a couple of really, bottom of the barrel kind of comments or, emails. But for the most part, people are quite, let's say, not if not supportive, at least, put up with my prognostications here. But if you are sensing some sort of doom looming, in terms of our financial future, if you are me, you are probably expecting that doom to spill over into the political, economic, and social future also. And if that's the case, maybe we are walking into the pages of Revelation, or we are living in the pages of Revelation right now. And if that's the case, then I would plead with you to at least consider your eternal abode where it should be. If we are born into this world, we are children of this world. We are children of the God of this world, Satan. That is, he took dominion over this world from Adam and Eve, and he has kept it ever since. Jesus won back the possibility for your soul to be redeemed, but it just takes you a step on your part. You have to step from darkness into light. You have to step out from under the God of this world and into the God of eternity. The small g God of this world, by the way. He eventually gets thrown into the lake of fire, so don't pay too much attention to him. The God of eternity, that is Yeshua, HaMashiach, the Messiah, God himself, incarnate on planet Earth, to pay for your sin, died for your sin, to pay to redeem you from that sin. Redeem is to pay off, basically. So he has paid off the price of your sin and my sin. And it's a free gift to you if you just want to accept it. So it takes it's your volition whether you want to accept it or not. You can't force a free gift on somebody. That's the whole idea of it being a gift. It can't be something it could never have been something that you would have earned. It's not possible for you to earn favor in the sight of God only through the Messiah. The Messiah has paid for your sin. He has, set up a robe of righteousness for you if you would wish to take it. So the offer is there. Believe on the Messiah, the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved. And that's what Paul said. That's the gospel of grace. That is the good news. The good news of the Messiah is the gospel of grace of God. You're saved by his grace, not by your works. And if you accept that, then, I'll see you in heaven, mate. As I was talking about the pages of Revelation there, I don't know if you have ever read the pages of Revelation, but there is a verse. Let's see if I can pull it up very quickly. This always goes awry, I know, but it's in Revelation 9, I think, and it talks about the marching armies. So there is a great war predicted, a third world war, if you will, and that third world war is going to be, it's a war that's going to kill a third of mankind. So I think it's Revelation 9 anyway. I'm looking for it here and I'm going to talk at the same time. Yeah, Revelation 9:15. So the 4 angels who had been prepared for the hour and the day and the month and the year were released to kill a third of mankind. So this is these angels of war that are released to kill a third of mankind. and the number of the army of the horsemen was 200 million. So there's 200 million troops. However many, armed forces there will be within this 200 million man, military force. This is the size of the number of troops that will be partaking in this war. I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses and the vision, and those who sat on them had breastplates of fiery red, hyacinth blue, and sulfur yellow. So just dwell on that for a second. They had breastplates of fiery red, hyacinth blue, and sulfur yellow. If you like those colors, red, blue, and yellow, have you seen those colors lately anywhere in terms of a military conflict? Is it starting to ring a bell for you? All that talk of the resurgence of the talk of nuclear war, and we have two armies now at war. One fighting under the red flag, Soviet Russia flag, and one fighting under the blue and yellow flag. And are not the countries of the world, rushing to those banners now? A portion of the world is rushing behind the banners of that red flag, and the other portion of the world is rushing behind the banners of that blue and yellow flag. So their breastplates are red, blue, and yellow. And here we are talking about, nuclear war again, or if that starts, that's it, my dear. Sayonara. So I would just urge you to, at least our, physical fate on this planet is very tenuous. It hangs on by a thread. Our life is but a breath, as Solomon said. And, we are all going to end up in eternity. And you will be in one place or another. You will be either clothed in righteousness and in heaven, or you will be clothed in your own, self-righteousness, and you'll be in hell. And that's the two places. I would urge you to run to the Messiah before that first nuclear bomb drops. And on that happy note, I bid you all adieu, and I will see you next week if I'm still here. And actually, I'll see you tonight if you're on the website, if you're a member of the website, and I'll see you next week if you're not. And if you wish to become a member, head over to bullwells.org, and you will get nightly updates. Until that point, God bless. See you tonight, everybody on the website, and see you next week, everybody on YouTube land. Bye-bye.